Hello and welcome. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. Today's session is on learning how to meditate using Kundalini yoga. I'm excited to bring you this topic. We've seen a lot of resurgence and interest in the idea and the practice of meditation, and I'm so glad you're here so that we can dive in and explore. So first things first, take a big inhale and exhale. Just sit in your awareness right now and give yourself a little rating. So if you're rating number 1, that means you're feeling kind of crappy and not so hopeful. And if you're feeling in the range of a number 10, you're feeling bright and lively and life feels like it's flowing. And so wherever you are on the spectrum, just hang on to that idea, that number for a few minutes as we go through this presentation, and then we'll do a little check-in at the end as well. So we're in a really interesting time now, and the time has arrived where we are finally understanding that the world of wellness isn't just about physical wellness. So not just going to the gym and working out and pushing weights, but actually we have to factor in now our mental health, our emotional health, our spiritual health, and all of these components lead to this idea of wellness. And for each one of us, wellness is something different. It could be vitality, it could be energy, it could be feeling of abundance or prosperity or having good relationships. And so just remember that wellness is a big open concept. And at the same time, we each come to it with a very unique understanding of what that means for us. What does it mean to feel well? And when we embrace all aspects of ourselves, not just our physical body, but mental, emotional, spiritual self, then we have a feeling of wholeness. And that feeling of wholeness leads to a lot of important experiences in life. That is thinking more clearly, feeling more grounded and steady in our bodies, feeling embodied. In other words, we exist all the way through, not just from the head up. Sometimes we can get all caught up in our thoughts, or we can get all caught up in our emotions, and having a good balance between how we perceive what is happening to us and what is happening in the world, how it externalizes, and how we feel within ourselves is a really important component to all of this. And so here we are embarking on the understanding of what is meditation, what are the benefits. I'm going to offer you some techniques that will make meditation a little bit easier, and then we'll actually do a practice session at the end. But first, I want to talk to you about what meditation is and clear up 5 myths about meditation itself. So, first things first, meditation is the opportunity to observe the mind. Notice that I said observe the mind, not clear the mind, not avoid all thinking, not checking out, not zoning out, but rather, what am I thinking? And it's as simple as that, to sit down with an intention on a couch, on the chair, on the floor, to sit down with an intention. What am I thinking? And to actually give space to observe the mind, each one of us, and to allow the thoughts to actually come. And I think this is probably counterintuitive to everything else that's going on in the world, which is clear the mind, focus the mind. These are some of the myths that you might hear about meditation itself, or some of the ideas that you might have based on the things that you would have seen in social media or the news. And so learning to meditate, to observe the mind, is actually a skill. It's not something that comes automatically. It's like you have to really think about it like you're exercising a new muscle. So just like if you started a walking program, you may, do a couple of laps and then feel tired. And then the next day go again and do a few more laps around the track or around the block. And you have a little bit more energy, going a little faster. And the same is true for meditation, is that it is a skill. And the best way to do that is to understand it as I'm learning something new. Let me offer myself patience, a little bit of grace, and curiosity. And when we approach things with patience, grace, and curiosity, a lot more information can come, and we give our self the opportunity to be a beginner. And so I welcome you into that idea and into that understanding that we're all learning something new. And so whether you are brand new at meditation, never done it before, or you've been stepping into it for a number of weeks or months or years, or you've been doing it for a long time, remember that the mind isn't something to control, but rather to observe. And we all need that skill set. So the more you practice, the easier it gets. That's the first little tip there. So meditation, I'm going to recap now some myths. Meditation is not about, here's the first myth, meditation is about clearing the mind. And that one is not true. Meditation, as I said before, is about observing the mind. What's happening? What am I thinking about? Where did that thought come from? How does that thought make me feel about myself, my circumstances, the people around me? And to make some choices and decisions about what that is setting up for you. So, for example, if I'm thinking a thought and the thought is, so and so doesn't like me, I feel from that thought not worthy. I feel not important. I feel like not good enough. Then it leads to a downward spiral of emotions. And so, what we want to do with the meditation is to observe, to track back where that thought is coming from, what's the feelings connected to it, so that we can offer liberation. And liberation always comes when we ask ourselves the question, is it true? Is it true that so and so doesn't like me? Or did we have a bad interaction? Okay, so that's an example of how you can challenge that myth of meditation is about emptying the mind or clearing the mind or not thinking any thoughts. I will say here, this is probably the place where people most get trapped. Because if you sit down with a meditation and a thought, I must clear my mind, and your mind doesn't clear, then automatically you feel like you can't do it. And that's not true. Okay, so I just want to spare you some agony, some suffering, and allow you to know that the mind is always going to think 1,000 thoughts per blink of the eye. And so if you can just be patient with that, curious about it, and open, then you can get some insight into why you're thinking what you're thinking. The next one is meditation is about changing who you are. Also not true. I would frame it as meditation allows you to be more of who you are. So your true nature, your true personality, your true inner self starts to become more observable, first to you and then to other people, more honest, more communicative, more willing to engage. Those are some of the benefits personally that I have discovered about myself, and also allows me to engage more deeply with others and the world around me. Meditation is not the same as concentration. Concentration is something you apply when you're doing something or when you are in the middle of something and you need to focus and do some calculations. Meditation is about being open. So it's in some ways quite the opposite. Rather than getting very focused on something, we actually want to open the door. This has its challenges, but it also offers quite a bit of freedom. And I'll get to how to do that and why you should do that in just a few moments. Meditation is about being present. It is not about checking out. So, in other words, we're not sitting down to meditate to avoid life's challenges. We're not sitting down to give away our power to another person or entity. We're actually using meditation as a time to understand ourselves better. We're using that time to include other dynamics like mantra or mudra or focal points in order to really understand what it is that we're doing and to create an outcome out of that. And then finally, meditation is not necessarily religious. Meditation is an open door into the mind. It is not connected to any one religion in particular, and nor does it defy rules of religion. And I always think about it this way, that meditation, so prayer is us talking to God, and meditation is us listening to God. And I use that word God as an acronym, the generating, organizing, and delivering mechanism of the universe, GOD. You can think about this as universe, as the creator, um, all that is. You find your way to understand the vastness of the world around us, the world within us, and to use this as an opportunity to engage in your inner knowingness and your belief system about the world around you. Okay, so those are 5 myths. I hope I've cleared that up for you. If that's true, drop a comment below so that I know that this is something that is helping you, and that it's cleared out maybe some old thinking or refreshed your mind on the opportunities that exist here. The next topic I want to cover for you is, what are the benefits of meditation? And I'm sure you've heard it all before. Everybody says now, it's become very post-pandemic, something that almost everyone can say in all walks of life, whether it's corporate or in the healthcare field or wellness, obviously, spiritual realms. All of us have come to the understanding that meditation is a really good idea. But practically, what does it bring? So I want you to think about your body as an information highway. And this information highway is made up of your thoughts, your feelings, your blood, your bones, your muscles. All of these experiences of being human are interconnected. In other words, you can't think a thought without your blood and your body actually feeling that. So in other words, all parts of us are known to itself. And so again, we want to operate holistically. And when we are highly agitated, nervous, depressed, anxious, worried, any of those kind of ideas, we start to set up an alert system in our body. Okay, I'm afraid. There's something that I'm nervous about in the future. And what it does is triggers the body to go on high alert. And you may experience that as heart palpitations. So your heart starts beating, your breath gets disorganized, it comes really shallow, it comes really fast. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in a heightened state. And it's not comfortable. It's not like you're going to do anything with that energy. You're just sitting in anticipation of a worst case scenario. We've done it before. I've done it before. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling. And so sitting down for a meditation allows the body to come out of that heightened state. We often hear about it as fight or flight. And we come into a place called attend and befriend. This is a meditative term that when I am calm, I can attend to my feelings, my thoughts, my body. Maybe I need a shower, maybe I need to eat something. Attend and befriend. Okay, this is what's going on right now. What can I do? What can I say to myself in order to soothe and relax this state? So meditation allows us to reduce stress. It allows us to complete the stress cycle so that we can go on with making good choices, saying the things that need to be said, and moving forward with our lives rather than getting stuck in a mental loop or a physical loop that often feels uncomfortable. Okay, so that's the first one. Increases emotional well-being. As I said before, when you know what you're thinking, it's not just a big jumble of things, but you know what you're thinking, oftentimes you can make that connection, or the skill is to make a connection between the thoughts we're thinking and the emotions that it provokes. And having that connection allows us to be more emotionally aware. Why is that important? When I'm emotionally aware, then, and my partner walks into the room and I start losing my patience or picking a fight, I know, hey, that's because I'm feeling upset about something. It's not their fault. It's actually on me. And it allows for better communication. And then with a little bit of vulnerability, I can say, I'm not feeling great today. I'm feeling nervous. I'm feeling worried. And that allows a deepening of that emotional connection with whoever it is, whether it's your partner, your kids, people that you're close with at work, whoever that is in your network, who you need to be honest with in order to develop the relationship. So emotional well-being. You can also, once you control your mind, here's number 3, is that it becomes easier to make decisions. You can very simply, very easily sit down, take a few moments to breathe, and be inspired. That's the project proposal I need to write. Or, that's the email I need to send. Or that's the social media I need to post. Or this is what I need to eat for dinner. All of these inspired things become part of your adjustment to day-to-day life. And so you feel better, you feel more effective, feel more in charge of what's happening in your life. And it all comes from an inspired place. Creativity gets enhanced when we're not stressed. We have the ability to think outside the box, and maybe that's about singing or dancing or drawing or painting, gardening. Any of those kind of activities become enhanced, and maybe you even feel inspired to get off the couch and do some of those things. Because when we're stressed, it's very easy to sit and not do much because we don't feel inspiration. But when our mind is in check and we're doing the work to take care of our mind, we have this open door for creativity and connection. Okay, so those are some of the benefits of dealing with the mind and why meditation is so helpful. And I would say here, why it stood the test of time. We have documented written evidence that meditation was present in our human existence 10,000 years ago. And when I say that, I want you to also remember that that's when written or symbology was used, hieroglyphics were used. But imagine all the time before that where humans were still doing this particular kind of practice, sitting under the moon, observing water, watching the stars, and all of those were meditative experiences that have been with us in our human experience. So this is not something new. This is time tested and a way to really approach the challenge of every era. So whether it was hunting and gathering, whether it's now driving the car and taking the kids to school, there is a very applicable way that meditation can be used and has been used throughout the ages. So I want to offer that to you too, that this is time tested. I want to give you now some tips on how to establish your meditation practice and what are some of the things that you can use in order to make observing your mind a little bit easier. And the first one may or may not be intuitive. You let me know. You can drop a comment below in the chat. Number 1 is to move your body before meditating. It may feel like meditation is all about the mind and it's only up here and you have to be still and in order to actually do that task of meditation. But actually, a little bit of movement, a little bit of elevating your heart, stretching, moving around. And this could be very simply taking a walk around the block. It could be going up and down the stairs a few times. It could be a formal yoga practice because yoga is the perfect way to warm up the body in order to observe the mind. Okay, so that's where you see the connection between yoga and meditation. When the body has been discharged of excess energy, then it's much easier for the mind to be witnessed and to be observed. Okay, so remember that those are, you can think about those as sisters walking together. First you move, then you observe the mind. Okay, so that's secret number 1. Not so secret number 1. Number 2 is you've already meditated before. I can guarantee that you've had this experience of being in a pleasurable environment, in an action or an activity, a hobby, where you just kind of lost track of time, where the activity in front of you was absorbing you, your hands were busy, your mind was busy, and you were just in it. And you looked up again and time just flew by. So maybe 10 minutes passed, 15 minutes, a couple of hours. I know this happens to me when I'm doing my regular cleanup or purging in my closet. I just lose track of time. Why? Because I find the activity enjoyable. It allows me to move my hands while my mind is thinking thoughts, and I'm clearing the closet at the same time I'm clearing up the thoughts in my mind that may be distracting me. So that's an example. You might have been washing the dishes or being in the shower, and time passed. And there you were in a meditative moment. So just know that you have done it before. And in that doing of it, you have resources to draw on. Number 3 is that meditation will change you. So if you are very busy in your mind, so you're very headstrong and always thinking and maybe overthinking, then meditation has some solutions because it asks us to drop out of the mind and into the heart space. And in the opposite way, if you are emotionally sensitive and it's always about what you feel and perceiving what other people are doing, then we need to then engage the mind in order to ask good questions. Is it true? And is that really what's happening? And can I take a different action? Do I need to react here? And all of that space that we need to create around new patterns in our thinking or in our feeling happen through a meditative practice, getting quiet, focusing, being in that time and space that's quiet. And then the answers come, new answers come. And why is that? Because over time, we have created grooves in our mind. And those grooves are the same thinking thoughts over and over and over again, which lead to the same beliefs and the feelings over and over again. So let me give you an example. The thinking thought is, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. The feeling is, that makes me feel overwhelmed and tired. And so I don't get to do all the fun things because I'm just feeling overwhelmed and tired. And it's because my thoughts tell me I'm busy. So taking a moment to meditate allows us to clear that space. Is it true? Am I so busy, or am I just telling myself I'm busy? Oh my goodness, I'm telling myself I'm busy. And what if I just stop saying that? What if I realize that I'm doing a lot? I'm pretty productive today. Which those two messages sound very different. Oh yeah, I did this and I did this and I did this and I did this. And guess what? I have energy to do that other thing because I'm on a roll now. And so you can see how it's freed up a little bit more space and time for new actions to emerge and a new form of your beingness to emerge. Okay, so that gives you the ability to change, and with not very much time and not very much effort, to be quite honest. Number 4 is that anyone can do it. Okay, and I've heard this. I've been a yoga therapist now for many years. I've run a yoga studio. I've run teacher training programs. I have a social media presence, and the one thing I hear over and over and over is that my mind's too busy. I can't do it. Now, you know enough already in this presentation to know that that is just a thought. You can do it. You just may be telling yourself you can't. Or maybe the perception of what meditation is not allowing you to see that you have room in that. Again, all is possible. And I'll give you this example. Many years ago, when I was running my studio, I was called into a local school and they wanted me to do a laughter yoga session with their grade kids. And the kids were there anywhere from junior kindergarten to about grade 4. And they came, all 200 of them, into the gym at the same time. And as they were walking in, I went, oh my goodness, how's this going to go? Because you can just imagine that giving kids the chance to laugh and to clap and to breathe and to be in that practice creates some exuberance. And of course, that was what it was designed to do. So the kids sat in the middle and were up on their feet and laughing and clapping and breathing with me. We had a great time. And all the teachers were around the perimeter of the room. If you're a teacher, you know what that looks like. And if you've been a kid in a classroom, you know exactly what that looks like. And so right at the end, after we'd been laughing and clapping and breathing for about 20 minutes or so, the energy in the room was really high. Everybody was giggling and we're having a grand old time. And then I said to them, okay, everybody, now we've moved our bodies, it's time to meditate. I took a breath And in the space where I took a breath, 200 kids sat down with no prompting, put their hands in Gyan Mudra, in this mudra of wisdom, placed it on their knees, closed their eyes, and sat. I was astonished, for lack of a better word. I didn't know what to make of it. I had not given any instruction. I didn't say anything. And I certainly wasn't expecting the whole room to go quiet and everyone to sit. It was almost automatic. And I looked around at the teachers just to gauge their response. And they were all looking at me like, what did you do? It was the word meditation. And in that moment, I learned very quickly that all of us need this. All of us, from the youngest of us to the eldest of us, we need this time. And intuitively, we know that having a chance to befriend, to attend and befriend, is one of the greatest service that we can offer to ourselves. And that is to be still, be in the moment, be in observation, take that time, and then move on to the next and the next and the next. But we need that safeguard. And those kids were my living proof that that concept is true and that we don't need a lot of instruction. We just need some encouragement. So kudos to you for watching through this video and getting to this point, because really right now we're about to step into a couple more tips and then actually to practice. And the tips here is that technique is required. Okay. And I want to do a little bit of myth busting here as well. You've probably seen an image, whether it's a cartoon image or a figure image or something on social media or on the news where you're looking at people hold their first finger and thumb together and just sitting quietly in meditation. And, you know, maybe a clock ticking like 20 minutes or 2.5 hours or something long and stretched out like that. I want you to know something, that is probably the most challenging meditation you could ever encounter. And that is to sit and simply sit. It's challenging for a number of reasons. Remember that the mind, the brain, it's designed to think 1,000 thoughts per blink of the eye. Just take that in. That means there are certain thoughts that are in our conscious awareness and many, 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 many more, hundreds more that are sitting in our subconscious mind and that will start poking as soon as you sit down quietly and don't have anything else to do. Now you can say, well, I'm focusing on my breath, but that's a very quiet activity. That takes some skill to really notice. That takes even more skill to actually breathe in a way that's regulated enough for the mind to use that as a steady gauge. So I want to offer to you that that's not the best starting spot. I want to offer to you that a meditation that has more elements, that has sound, that has focal point, that has a mudra, perhaps even a moving mudra, are the ways to really participate in your meditative experience in a way that's good and clean for a beginner. These other options, these other elements of meditation focus the mind. It's almost like when you see a horse that is wearing blinders, they put that on the horse so the horse can't see from side to side and can't get spooked. And the same thing is for the mind. You know, if you have a road, a narrow road, you're going to pay more attention to it. You're going to stay in between those lines because otherwise you're going off the cliff or you're going to go into another lane of traffic. That's also why highways have those lines so that we don't wander and we don't stray. And so this is the next piece, is that the more elements you have in your meditation, the easier it is for the mind to focus. And I want to offer here too that being comfortable is more important than looking perfect. So generally speaking, I find it more comfortable to sit on a couch now when I'm doing my meditation or sitting in bed. The floor is less accessible. I'm just getting older. I'm just being honest. And so that's what I do. I don't force myself to sit on the floor because if it hurts, it's distraction to the mind. And I would rather have my mind and my body focused and relaxed than in pain and suffering and wondering when the torture is going to end. So I want to invite you to think about all that now, because we're stepping into a meditative experience using a meditation called Kirtan Kriya. Kirtan Kriya is a foundational meditation in the world of Kundalini yoga. It uses mantra, sound vibration. It uses focal point, where to put the eyes. And it uses a moving mudra. And so these three elements make it very effective because there's lots going on, there's lots to pay attention to, and the mind can't really go out into planning lunch and dinner and clothing and so is who you've had a little tiff with. Can't do any of that. It has to stay. Sit, stay, heal. And that's what I want to welcome you into. So we're going to start the meditative experience now. And what I'd like you to do is find a tall seated position. So this could be on a chair, as I'm doing right now. You could be on a sofa. You could be on a floor, if that's what you prefer, or you can be in bed. All of those will work, and all of those will do, as long as your spine is straight. With a straight spine, we're allowing energy to flow. So energy from the base of the spine all the way up to the top of the head now getting utilized. And as you align your spine, you align yourself with the center of gravity of the earth. Think of the vastness of that. And then also the energy of the universe. Powerful. Okay. And what I'd like you to do is relax your hands. I'm going to hold them right here just so that you can see what I'm doing, but you can leave them very relaxed on your knees. This is comfortable. This is elbows bent. This is chill. The mudra is to circulate your fingers, so one finger at a time, to the thumb. So starting with your index finger, then your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. So go ahead and just start that now. Remember, your hands are down on your knees. I'm just holding them up so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to add a sound vibration. And the sounds, 4 sounds, short sounds: sa, ta, na, ma, sa, ta, na, ma. Okay, we're going to go into that a little bit more, but I want to tell you a little bit about that mantra. It's in the sacred language of Gurmukhi, and that is a language designed for the human to connect to the infinite. So the finite and the infinite have a language to exchange. And those sounds mean universe, life, death, rebirth. And so what we're doing is calling on our inner resources and the sound vibration to shift patterns that don't necessarily work for us anymore, open pathways that are more healthy, more healing, more abundant. And we're using our fingers, which map directly to different components of our brain. So if we want to think differently, we have to do things differently. And this touch, you know how sensitive your hands are, because that's what you do to comfort a child or to remove something. If your hand's near something hot or cold, you remove your hand to keep yourself safe. We know that our hands are intimately connected to our brains. And so that's where this mudra is stemming from. That's why mudras are so important. And then finally, imagine light coming in through the top of your head, hitting a very powerful gland in the body called the pineal gland. And then imagine that L shape. So the energy is going downwards through the center of the skull and then coming through your third eye. Behind here is your pituitary gland. So we are linking with gaze, with focal point, 2 very important micro glands in the body. These glands are responsible for our functioning, our sleeping, our eating cycles, our adrenaline, all cortisol, oxytocin, all the important hormones in the body as well are connected to these master glands in the body. Okay, so there's some background behind it. There's some science behind it. And what I'd like to do now is invite you into the practice so that you can do a little bit with me and come back to this as often as you like. And I always suggest start with 40 days, and a 40-day practice will give you all of the benefits in order to establish your practice. Okay, so sitting up tall and straight, we're going to do 1 minute out loud, 1 as a whisper, 1 3 minutes silently, One is a whisper and one out loud, and then we'll conclude. So 7-minute meditation. Notice how quickly it goes by and allow your mind to be free. Okay, so let's go. Sit up tall and straight. And let's begin now using our hands and reciting the mantra. Remember, your hands are relaxed. Mine are here so you can see. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Eyes are closed. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Last round. Sa, ta, na, ma. Switch to a whisper now. Remember, you're taking in energy from the top of your head and aiming it out through your third eye. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Now switch to a whisper. Sorry, switch to silently. Keep the mantra moving in your mind, pressing firmly into your fingertips. Keep the focal point of light coming down through the top of your head and aiming it out through your brow point, keeping your eyes gently closed. Sa, ta, na, ma. Continue on silently. Keep pressing on your fingers. Find a steady rhythm. Remember to straighten your spine from time to time. Check your posture. Keep the mantra moving in your mind. We're almost there. As a whisper, sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, ta, na, ma. Now out loud. Sa, ta, na, ma, 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 sa, ta, na, ma. Last round. Sa, ta, na, ma. Inhale very deeply. Squeeze your hands, your feet, your face. And exhale. Inhale very deeply. Do that again. Inhale. Squeeze your hands, your feet, your face. On your exhalation, let it go and soften your hands, your feet, and your face. Lift your arms up. Just give yourself a little shake. You can shake your feet too. Turn your toes in circles. Shake, shake, shake. And then place your palms together here. Take a few breaths. Coming out of our meditative experience, giving thanks for these teachings that they have survived thousands and thousands of years to come to our benefit now. A moment of gratitude for yourself for pursuing, for persisting, even where your mind might have told you not to. You made it. You're here. Good. And relax. Now, take a moment. We, in the beginning, did a little rating. How were you feeling? You had a scale from 1 to 10, and just notice, observe, what's that rating now? How are you feeling? And perhaps even more so, what did you learn about yourself and about the practice of meditation? I'd love if you would drop a comment below. Remember that I'm here to support. You can take further trainings with me. This is Kundalini Yoga Teacher Training, which is a full year process. Meditation is a big part of that. There's breath work that you will learn. There's community building that you will learn, how to teach Kundalini Yoga, and so much more. There are other ways to connect. One is a clarity call, a numerology session, lots of different ways where we can make a personal connection so that these teachings come to life. Lots of love to you. My name is Salimah, yoga therapist. If you found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, bye for now.